Well, that was definitely not the easiest way to strip paint off a guitar. 1 year ago I made this video called The Easiest Way to Strip Paint Off a Guitar. And it did very well. In fact, it's one of my most popular videos. But I got a lot of comments from you guys saying that in fact it wasn't the easiest way to strip paint off a guitar and there's easier ways using chemicals. One of those recent comments was from a subscriber saying he believes his local luthiers use a product called Sunnyside 2-minute varnish. Now I had a bit of a search for that in the UK and I couldn't find it. So I went on Amazon and I bought this product here. It's called Nitromores. And I also bought a little Stanley scraper type thing. I'll leave links to these in the description. If they work well, you know, feel free to buy them on Amazon. This is my Squier Affinity Jazzmaster. Now we're going to do a pretty cool project with this. You can see it's covered in dust. But today we're going to strip the paint off this body. And we're going to do it using Nitromores. So let's find out what really is the easiest way to strip paint off a guitar. Is it like my previous video where I used a heat gun? Or is it chemicals and Nitromores? That's the body all stripped down, ready to go. I've put down a scrap piece of plywood just to keep the workbench good and to save the mess. We will read the instructions first before we get started. Pour into overcap, which I guess is this green part here. Apply a thick coat with a dabbing action, 2 to 3 millimeters. Do not brush out. Once paint has blistered, 5 to 10 minutes, apply a second coat, working into the blistering paint. Leave for up to 40 minutes. If dried out, reapply. Remove blistered and softened paint with a scraper or shave hook. In difficult areas, use an old nylon toothbrush. Repeat as necessary. Okay. Do not use in an enclosed space, like a shed. All jokes aside, safety is actually important, so I've got a pair of safety goggles on. We're of course going to wear gloves. I've changed my top for an old top that I don't care about. Well, not that I care about that grey one, but I'm also, as an extra precaution, going to wear a respirator. So if I'm talking like Darth Vader, that's why. We have, I'm not really sure, it doesn't, you know, it says dab it on. Maybe I should actually read it somewhere. It says dab it on, so I'm not sure what to actually apply it with. I've got some cut up old t-shirt. I've got a paintbrush just in case. And we'll figure it out as it goes along. If I have to scoop it, put it on my hand, I will. It's like a gel. Okay, so it said 5 to 10 minutes. We're going to leave it. I'll put a time lapse on and we'll see how that looks. I think I'm going to get a Ziploc bag to put this in so that it doesn't ruin. I definitely poured too much in here. So we'll go get the Ziploc bag and we'll come back in 5 to 10 minutes. That's 10 minutes exactly, and honestly I'm not sure if it's actually done anything. I'm really struggling to see. Let's wipe a bit off here just to see if... I mean, it doesn't look like it's blistering. Did I maybe not put it on thick enough? And it says apply a thick coat with a dabbing action 2 to 3 mil. Probably it wasn't thick enough. It's kind of hard to quantify what 2 to 3 millimeter is with this gel. And then once it's blistered, apply a second coat. Right, I've got this in the little Ziploc bag. I didn't want it spoiling. We're going to take it out. We're going to do a second coat already. And we're going to lay it on really thick and we'll see if that makes a difference. Also, the ventilator, or the mask, definitely a good idea. This stuff stinks. Alright, let's give it another 5-10 minutes. We're over 5 minutes in now to the time lapse and letting this settle, and I'm still not really seeing anything. Come on, I'll show you. So, to me, there's nothing really happening here. It still feels like nothing. Also, I'm trying out this new DJI Action camera, so if this is shite, let me know. It just means you can probably see more of the clutter behind me. I don't know what to do. I think I kind of feel like if I just done the heat gun, I'd have been half done by now. You know, I can't exactly remember now how long that Tom DeLonge body took me to do, but I want to say it wasn't much longer than an hour in total. Maybe like 40 minutes to 1 hour to strip it all off. And I didn't damage the body at all. This would be nice if it worked, because you can kind of, you know, you could do this, maybe if it was a nice day outside, you could apply this outside, walk away from it and do some other stuff in your workshop, but which is kind of nice because then maybe there's no effort to it if you just clean it all off, but it just doesn't seem to be working for me. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go inside, I'm going to get some lunch, I'm going to walk away from this, and we're going to come back in the full kind of 40 minutes and see if that's any different. I don't think I can do anything else. I mean, you've seen I've laid it on as thick as I can. I'll leave the time lapse running out here, and hopefully that captures if anything mystical happens while I'm not here. We'll come back in about 40 minutes. Well, it's been over 40 minutes now, probably around 45. And I'm struggling to see any blistering or that this has made any kind of a difference at all. So I don't really know what to do. I think probably what I'm going to do now, I'm probably going to take this little hook thing and see if it's softened any of the paint, and if that hasn't worked, I mean, I can't really lay it on any thicker, so if that hasn't worked, I'm probably just going to call it quits and we'll go back to the heat gun method. Let's find out. Now, you see, it hasn't even softened the paint at all. See, I'm just scraping the paint. The Nitromorse gel seems to have, like, I was going to say gelled up, but just hardened on top of the surface. It's not eating into that paint whatsoever. Look at that. You could probably clean this off and the paint would be like, well, not like new, but like it was before I even put it on. Wow, look at this. We've literally done nothing to the paint. Not a blister in sight. I really thought this would work. I didn't expect it to just not do anything. I expected it to work, but just be very messy and kind of not as good as the method I showed last time with the heat gun. But for it to actually just not have worked at all, I'm really shocked. If anyone knows why, please let me know. I mean, this is the product I'm using. It's Nitromorse, and it says it strips all paint from wood and metal. You know, am I using the wrong product? Removes most paints, varnishes and lacquers. I mean, I would have thought polyurethane would fall under most paints. Apparently not, you know. If anything, what we've done is remove that layer of dust that was on there. There's nothing. Look at that, it's as good as new. What on earth? So I left it for 10 minutes, like it said. We came back, there was no blistering. I thought maybe I didn't apply it thick enough, so I applied a really thick layer. We left it for another 5 or so minutes, still nothing. So then we went and we left it for 45 minutes. And we've come back and I'm just wiping it off with no difference made at all to the paint. And it's, look, this is not a slight on anyone who left a comment saying to use one of these chemical strippers. Like I said, maybe I've chose the wrong one, but I really thought that Nitromorse would work. Maybe the Sunnyside gel, like that comment recommended, works. I just can't, it's just not something that I can get here in the UK, or at least that I could find myself. If someone uses one of these products to strip paint, please let me know exactly which product, and we'll come back, we'll revisit it. For now, let's do this the proper way.
So before I go any further, you can see this is coming off. It's not coming off the best. You can see all these small bits here. In my last video it came off in big chunks. Now look at the inside of the cavity here. You know, that seems to be coming off in bigger chunks than the top of the body here. That might be because of that nitromorse actually having softened the top, maybe. So whenever I finish doing the top and we flip it around to the back, we'll see, because obviously I didn't put any nitromorse on here. So if the back comes off in big chunks and lovely and nice, we'll know that that's how it would have come off before, is what I'm trying to say. This might be quite difficult because of the nitromorse, or it might just be this type of paint isn't really coming off in big flakes, which, you know, can happen. But let's continue. Let's see what happens, and we'll get the whole body stripped. I'm not sure whether I'll keep it all in the edit. I might speed this up because you've seen it before in a video, but this little scraper actually feels quite good. I'm just running it kind of with the handle parallel to the body, and I'm being very, very gentle to scrape it. I'm not digging in because I don't want to mark the body. So it's actually quite a good wee scraper. I'll probably not go back to the plastic. It's not doing it at the minute. Oh, this is miserable. I think it's thumbnail time. Oh, none of that was fun or easy. Honestly, if the back and sides are going to be the same, I don't even want to think about it. That took
far too long, and nothing about any of that was any fun at all. Remorse just didn't work. Somebody tell me what I did wrong, if I did anything wrong. We had to return to the old faithful of using the heat gun. Now that was a miserable experience. I've never done a guitar body, at least a polyurethane guitar body, quite as bad as that before. I have had awkward ones before, but never quite like that, and I've done quite a few Fender bodies specifically with the polyurethane. I don't know what it is about this little squire. Problem is, I have another one of these that I want to do this to, and I'm starting to have second thoughts about that now. I've actually stripped the veneer off the top and the back of this. It is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 piece, quite like the Fender Stratocaster. The difference being this was a sub £200 guitar. The reason I took the veneer off the top was it started to chip off on me. That has happened because when I'm using the heat gun, I have actually melted the glue underneath it and lifted the veneer, so it was either try to sand it flat or just chip it off, and I spent about an hour with a heat gun just scraping it and chipping it off. I did get quite a nasty bit of blowout damage here on the edge, which I'm going to have to fix somehow. Other than that, pretty successful. It's back to its completely raw wood. There's a couple wee bits here, if you can see down the bottom. They're kind of just wee bits of the glue where the veneer was on. We'll sand those off when we go to refinish this. But what a day. I expected this to be like a 1-2 hour project and get a couple of other things done out here, but this has consumed my entire day. The plan with this body is to do a full nitrocellulose finish on it. So we're going to do a clear coat at the start to kind of seal the body, sand that back, get it nice and flat, and then we're going to do a beautiful nitrocellulose paint job. It's probably going to be red, if I'm honest, like a Fiesta red. And then we're going to put a fender neck on it, and we're going to do like a Tom DeLonge style Jazzmaster, and then we will give it away. For now, I don't want to see it again. For a few weeks at least. So there you have it. The point of this video was